Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hello. I'm okay, thank you. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're going to be doing a bit of a would you rather on stereo today. I'm really, I'm thinking I want to share this on my, I want to share this, but I'm worried that now I've gone off the app, it's going to break.
Well, you're
I think we're here. I think we're still good. I think
yeah,
we're still good.
I'm still with you. Yeah.
Cool. Right. It should be working. We're going to do some would you rather questions. This will go up on YouTube hopefully at some point as well if I work out how to record it and that sort of thing. But would you rather? It's kind of a bit of a standard thing to do, really. It feels like on stereo because we could try and sort this so that we end up doing some sort of like show on stereo. But I think to start off with, it's good to just do these like little random like sort of game
Hmm.
sort of chat sort of things
Yeah.
just because it's easy and
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
gets people going. So yeah, who wants to kick off? Do you fancy kicking off?
Yeah. I mean, my would you rather's are quite tame. Um, but I don't know what
That's
yours
all
are going to
right.
be like.
Mine
You're going to be the edge lord today.
mine are mainly pretty tame. Mainly
For
tame.
once, for once, I'm putting myself on a leash because usually when we stream things like um when we streamed Among Us, I kind of say some stuff that's probably not the best. It comes
Yeah,
out
you've
totally wrong. So I put myself on a leash this time, and then you haven't. So
mine
Lord
aren't that bad.
knows.
Mine aren't that bad. But the conversation that follows them, it could go down a bit of a rabbit hole. That's all I'm
Well,
gonna say.
I'll be on my best behaviour for you today. How about that?
Go on then. You start us off.
All right, so mine. I've gone with quite a simple one to start with. Now, I want to say to everyone listening to this, a lot of these I actually thought of myself, and then there was a couple I thought, I'm struggling on. So I went on a website, and it turns out some of them were already on there anyway. So
Right,
the
okay.
first would you rather that I've done is would you rather be rich in the roughest area of town or be poor in the nicest area of town?
So I've got a little bit of a theory about this. My theory is this: you're always better off.
Good.
What? What? Did you press that?
Yeah, I did. I don't know what was going on there.
Please don't. Please don't press that.
Okay.
We'll listen to it in a sec. Um. So yeah, I feel like I've always had this theory that you're better off being the poorest person in the area. So like
Right.
in where I live now, apart from the odd council house here and there, I am probably the poorest person in my whole street.
Right.
Now, that's good because you don't end up living next to a load of like ruffians. I know I sound very stuck up by saying that, but I'm not. It's but you don't end up with like shitty neighbors basically, and that's
Mm,
kind of I think that's really important when you're buying a
mm,
house or when you're trying to live somewhere. Making sure your neighbors are decent is quite important. So I think
yeah.
personally, being the poorest person in the area, I'd argue,
Mm,
is quite a good thing.
yeah. Yeah, I get you. You got.
What
I
would you go
mean,
for?
so this is gonna be really boring. This one, I'm inclined to agree with you because I'm in a similar situation. So I've recently moved into my own place, and it is in a very nice little area. I'm not still in the town, so to speak, and near like local amenities, but I'm in like quite a little secluded part.
Yeah,
Um, and I had absolutely no issues whatsoever with noise or anything like that. I've lived in a
yeah, that's what you
variety
want.
of areas. I've lived in some areas that probably wouldn't be classed as affluent, not naming any
Affluent.
places or anything.
That's
Um,
his way.
and some of the issue. No, no, that one was all right. I'll tell
Yeah,
you
but
later. But there was somewhere that was terrible, and like you'd end up with the next door neighbour was involved in some form of drugs or narcotics. I swear he was. Across the other side of where I lived, someone got stabbed within a couple of like weeks of me moving in. And also
Jeez.
it wasn't very nice, like mentally speaking.
Yeah,
Having
absolutely.
to be honest, we grew up in nice areas. Let's not let's not beat around the bush. So going
No.
from there, I guess we were a little bit spoilt with that into a not so nice area, and it's a bit like I think you're right as well. The other thing I'd say is if you're poor in a nice area, right, you don't really have to sort of. There's none of that keeping up with the Joneses business. If you know that you're not like the if you haven't got the money to sort of like match with people, and as long as like you said, neighbours is very important. I find the only thing that people have ever had arguments with me about in regards to neighbours is things like parking. I think that's kind of the only thing I've found.
I mean, yeah, the only issue I've had is them bringing rats into the neighbourhood via a chicken pen. That's been my only real issue, and
I think that
I
sounds
even
like
managed
a
to.
story for another time. That does.
I
But
even managed to convince them in the end to pay for getting rid of the rats. So I did pretty
really,
well there. Yeah, I
really,
was not happy.
blimey.
They were a bit scared.
I mean, the thing is, as some people that might watch this back would probably know, I'm quite into my cars, right? So if I would have a lot of money, then the one thing that I would do is buy a nice car. Now,
Nice.
in the rougher areas in towns in England, as many people will tell you, there's lots of car thefts.
Yeah.
And as well, I think one of the positives about not being very well off and if people know about it is people can be quite envious of jealous, and that comes in certain ways. They might sort of judge on you, or they might be a bit funny towards you, and they might start trying to
Or
damage
they
your
might key
property
your
and
car.
things like that. Yeah, exactly. So like, there's things like that. So yeah, no, I know this is a bit of a boring one to start with, but I would definitely rather be poor in a nice area. Home is where the heart is and all that. So I think that was
Absolutely.
quite an easy one to start off. Quite an easy one to start off. Gone.
Before we jump on to the next one. Oh no, we
Hmm.
can't hear that message again. Now it's gone.
Right,
Right.
I think you're
Don't.
still in, buddy. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Whoever asked that question before, just send it again. You can send
Yeah.
them in. We'll happily
Don't click
interrupt
on
ours for
any
yours.
messages. I will be
No,
the
I'm
message
not going to do it.
controller. There we go.
I'd love to hear what you
Right.
say again, mate.
Unless it was abuse, please don't send that again. Right. Which one am I going to go for first? My first would you rather is this. Would you rather work at home on 80%
Right.
pay or go into the office with people you hate on 100% pay?
You're talking to someone who works from home. I'm literally on my lunch break doing this.
Or better going into an office, but you hate the people there?
Right, okay. I'm going to tell you the positives and negatives of working from home first for anyone that doesn't do it. First of all, I'm going to say I feel very sorry for a lot of people that can't work at the moment. That aren't, I feel very lucky that I'm able to work from home, and I don't want to rub that in for anyone with the situation. No, it's
I'm
quite
still
serious.
Earning money, so unlucky.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying like it's almost like being on the furlough pay. The positives of working from home is I don't have to commute into the office. I can literally have a shower, and I do get dressed because it's all about your mindset for working. On my lunch break, I can do a lot of cooking. So I've been getting into cooking. That's like my New Year's resolution. As Matt will tell you, I didn't really cook years ago when I was living with you. I just not proper cooking, like shove stuff in the oven, usually a pizza. But we've been doing a lot of cooking. If I want to put the washing on, I can do it. I can, and a lot of offices allow things like, because I'm on a computer, you got to have some time off the computer to sort of, so you don't end up with like repetitive strain injury or problems with your eyes. So, that 5 minutes I could be like doing the washing, or I could quickly hoover my humble little flat, or, things like that. You can have music on in the background. The negatives is the social side. Zoom calls and messaging people. I've been doing this since April now. But I like the people. That's the thing here. That's
but
the
what if
little
you
extra
didn't?
bit you put in.
Would you get that extra 20% pay and have to be around people you hate?
No, no. Simply this. Because also, I mean, if because I can, because of obviously the extra things I've got, and I don't want to save money on my commuting and things like that. But like as a general, you've got to be as happy as possible at work to do the best job. But if we just count it on face value, no, I would. I used to be quite money focused when I was younger, and not anymore. No way. I would happily work from home, as long as I was able to, still be able to have the positives from working from home. It's an easy answer. I'd probably still pick it anyway, even if like I was just constantly being watched on my webcam and things like that.
Yeah.
Which obviously is illegal, but but yeah. So that's kind of the way. On reflection, I'm looking forward to going back to the office when that happens. It's not going to be a permanent thing. I've been told potentially. But it might be like a bit of a hybrid setup, like with most. But I'm actually looking forward to going back to the office and sort of like having a bit more of a normal sort of working life. I'm looking forward to ironing my shirts on a Sunday night, and then we've got going on Monday, wearing my smart stuff, feeling like I'm more important than I am, and things like that. Commute, not really sure whether I'm looking forward to that, but maybe everyone else is doing the same thing, so don't know. But yeah, that's kind of my whole viewpoint on work from. Go on, you go, Matt. I've talked too much on this.
I'd love to work at home. So for those of you who don't know, I work as someone who is essential. I've been doing work as normal throughout the whole of lockdown, which consists of me living away from home for a week at a time. I would take a 20% pay cut, 100% work at home. One, I can do my little side hustles of YouTube and that sort of thing on the sly in little breaks. As you said, I can still get that sort of stuff done. But in addition to that, I want to get a dog. I'd love to get a dog. And the sole reason that I can't get a dog right now is because of like not being around for it, not being able to be around to walk it, feed it, that sort of thing.
Matt.
So, yeah.
If you could pick any dog, what would you pick?
Cockapoo.
Yeah.
So,
what about a Labradoodle?
Really cute. Yeah, potentially Labradoodle, but partly because they're cute. The second bit is that I can say cockapoo, and I get to say cock and poo without anyone questioning me, which is great. Have you got another?
You could get a Shih Tzu.
Yeah. Shih Tzu's a bit too far.
So this one is quite specific to you. I've been thinking about this one myself anyway. So because obviously, as you know, Matt is a YouTube personality. He's recently deleted his previous channel because he would like to start a fresh start, but he was actually had a few K on there. Would you rather be successful on YouTube? I mean, we're talking like near top trending most of the time with content you hate, or unsuccessful with content you love. It's a hard one. There's so many different variables on it, isn't it?
I'm gonna be that guy. I'm 100% making content I hate that is popular. I don't care. I'm out there. I'm getting the YouTube bag. 100%.
You're working to live,
all those ads.
Not living to work in that one.
Yeah, working to live. Honestly, if I could just whack out a video and I was good at it, so somewhere in the world someone thinks that's good quality content, I'm 100% making videos that I wouldn't enjoy watching but are popular, as opposed to making videos that are, I don't know, like that are I think are really high quality but only 10 people watch them. 100%.
So basically what you're saying is you'd rather do a FIFA video and get loads of money
100%.
than a chair chat. Fair enough. Not saying chair chats are unsuccessful. It's just at the moment you ain't got a lot on it. So that's all I mean.
So if we changed it up a slight bit, if it was the difference between having millions of views and 50,000 views per video, I would pick 50,000 views per video.
Okay.
With the content I like. But if it's a drastic
So
difference,
you
like
could find like
10
a happy
views to a million,
medium.
I'll go for a million. Yeah, if there
Yeah,
was a
fair
happy
enough.
medium, I'd be down. But
I
if it is,
you know, go on, carry on.
all right.
No, I was
No,
going to go on to my point.
if it's drastic, then I'm 100% going for the millions of pounds and making absolute shithousery content.
Yeah, no. Right, I'll agree with you. I mean, we are very similar people to everyone watching. You know, we grew up in the same area, similar families since the age of like 3. We've known each other, so
Yeah.
it's going to come to no surprise if we come to the same conclusions. But so the way I saw it, right? If you're successful on YouTube with content you hate, right, you end up with. So I watch. I was thinking about this. I watch a lot of my current favorite personalities, right? Sidemen are all right, but it's okay. But I kind of like. I'm a big fan
you're
of the
wrong, but
E-boys. I'm a big fan of the E-boys, and not specifically just that channel, but mainly Willany and George Meaningless. I think they're. I just love their content. It's just like if I'm on an evening, I want to whack on YouTube. I don't really want to think about it, and like they're perfect for stuff like that. You watch some of Willany's content. I mean, really more from like a year to 2 years ago when he was doing like all these pranks and stuff like that.
He just
absolutely
can't do it right now.
Fantastic. No, and it was brilliant. Also, I think I'd be much more inclined to be more successful on YouTube because you could pay an editor to do a lot of the work.
100%.
You know,
I was thinking about this the other day, actually. My channel, I reckon I could do 3 videos a week without fail if I had an editor. Because editing is what takes all the time up.
Yeah, exactly.
I could run like 5 channels, I swear, and do 3
but
videos
the thing is, if you were good at editing and you're getting all those views in, I'd feel if you had no choice but to do your own editing, you'd still put in sort of the grind for it. If you could do
if
it,
you're getting the views. Like if you're not getting the views, then you don't.
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of people don't get it, but some people don't get that when you're making a YouTube video, it's more than just like the recording. They're right, hello, and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot behind the background preparing it, and you hear a lot of YouTubers saying that they're spending like 8 hours, 10 hours a day, like getting this stuff ready just for like a 10-minute clip, you know, just to get that monetization in.
Right. Well, you saw my most recent Warzone vid, yeah?
Which is fantastic. You guys should go and have a look at that. I thought it was hilarious.
That intro. Guess how long I was waiting to film that. You know, so I've got 4 people stood in a row, and I kind of cut to them and take the mick out of them and stuff like that. Guess how long it took to record that clip? I was trying to get 4 people in one lobby. No, just to get 4 people in a lobby.
Probably about half an hour, easy.
Nope. It took me 6 days to find a time where all 4 of those people could be in a lobby so I could take that video.
Yeah, I know.
The grind. And then so for like a chair chat, for example, chair chat will take me like 2 hours to come up with the content and then record it. And then it will take me like 3.5 hours to edit because I do it in bits and bobs. So I tend to do my editing late at night. And then so I'll edit a bit of a video and I'm like, oh, I'm a bit tired now. So I don't want to be editing when I'm tired because the content will not be good enough. So I end up kind of not sacking it off, but stop editing because I don't want the content to be good. So I go to bed. So in total, about 3 hours to edit that video. And yes, it's got like 15 views, but that's every single subscriber I think has watched that video. Which is sick.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this new channel's gonna do for you. Certainly. We better not plug it for too much though, because otherwise people get fed up with you. Let's plug your channel for a bit. I don't have a channel, by the way. Well, I do. It's absolutely disgusting, so we don't even talk about it. And it's from Rainbow Six Siege from years ago. With like, when you like. Right, this is going to sound really dodgy, but like there were a bunch of people that were quite a bit younger than me that used to play on it with me, and I thought, I'll start streaming with them. So it's just a bunch of kids in there, like 40 years old,
screaming down microphones.
Like, oh my god, it's absolutely crazy. I need to delete it. I'm going to delete it.
You
soon.
do. Right. I mean, I've got
anyway. Right, go on.
We'll move on. More would you rather? So, by the way, before we jump into this, would you rather? If anyone listening has a would you rather, pop it in the little comments thing that you can do here and send us a little voice clip and we'll include it in the show. So I'm going to skip my second one because it's very similar to the whole like make money, make money, have views, not money, whatever.
Okay.
So we'll go. Would you rather have athlete level strength or athlete level endurance?
I see. I got neither.
Neither.
So this is
you have neither. But what would you prefer to have? Are you running like Mo Farah or are you lifting like Anthony Joshua?
I think I'm running like Mo Farah. I'm not that big on the whole strength thing. Like, if you remember when we used to, a long time ago, we used to go to the gym, right?
I remember when you had a personal trainer in your garage.
Stop! Right, stop! Well, I will explain these two stories because there's another story as well. And I once upon a time I wanted to get into the Royal Air Force, and we'll explain that one in a bit as well because you were there for that second one. You forgot
Maybe
about
we
the other
save
one.
this. Maybe we save these.
Okay, I think we'll do another one about embarrassing stories.
But anyway, so you're saying you'd rather have endurance?
When I used to go to the gym a long time ago with you and Chaz, you noticed that I didn't really mind doing the reps on the the benches and stuff like that. But for me, what I loved was the rowing machine and the treadmill. Which we'll talk about the treadmill another time, Matt. Don't tell him, because you remember now. No, I've said it.
Quality
but
story.
For me, cardio and core is everything for me. I'm one of them that believes in that. Not really that big on strength. I've got a bit of a belly on me. I'm a little bit overweight. I've always been told by people, "Oh, if you went to the gym, you could turn that into muscle and you become one of them, beefcakes." But not really my thing. I definitely rather the endurance because I hate being out of breath if I go running down the street, which does happen a lot. It really irritates me. And I find that with endurance, it's a lot easier to sort of keep that up, whereas if you kept up like your strength and I guess muscle definition and things like that, I think it's a lot harder to do. So I definitely rather go with the endurance. 100%. That's an easy one for me. Yeah.
So as well, for those of you listening, you won't know, but if you've seen my YouTube, you'll see that I'm a pretty big bloke already. It does not take much for me to be able to lift a heavy weight. Like, I'm strong. I'm naturally built that way. But what I'm not built for is being able to go distances in running because I just don't have the body for it. And I would absolutely love to have long endurance abilities like an athlete does. Like, for two reasons. One, because I've already got the strength, really. I don't really need to have strength. I can just quite easily toe my muscle up, I think. Two, there's another place where endurance is useful, Christopher.
I know. I wasn't going to get onto this. I wasn't going to get into this, but it was the first thing that came to my mind.
Everything comes back to sex, and having athlete level endurance.
You said the word endurance. I was like, no, easily.
Anyway,
move
on to our next.
I'm not gonna. Not that that's a problem with me, but I'm just gonna say that was definitely something I thought about. Anyway,
that's not what I would. Wait, we've got a voice clip. I'm gonna play it. The first one ever.
Yes.
I'd rather athlete's body than anything else.
Yeah,
Revelant, you're not wrong, man. An athlete's body in general would just be great. I would take that now. Right. What's your next one then, Chris?
Right, again, mine's kind of like home related again. I don't know why, but I just went for this one. I've got neither of these where I live, so I just thought it'd be a good one. Would you rather have nosy neighbours or noisy neighbours? So, would you rather have that neighbour that's constantly nosing around you, a proper like curtain twitcher, or would you rather have one that's playing like heavy metal and's got a really loud car and you're hearing arguments?
I would take nosy neighbour every single day of the week. Right. So I've got quite a noisy neighbour over here, and he does he whacks on his heavy metal quite regularly, and it is quite annoying. It's mostly annoying when you're trying to watch something on TV. So we've watched stuff like 13 Reasons Why, for example, which is a great TV show. But when it's in the middle of a funeral scene and bloody Enter Shikari starts playing next door, it kind of ruins the atmosphere a little bit. So yeah, I would 100% prefer a nosy neighbour. One, because of like, you know, noisy neighbours are particularly bad and they ruin a lot of moments for you and stuff like that. But secondly, a nosy neighbour would have an absolute shock trying to peek on me because I pretty much walk around the house naked 99% of the time. So that would be bad for them, really.
Picture that, listeners. Picture that. Go on.
So yeah, they can
Before
take
you
a look
did
at
it.
the lockdown bod. They can take a look at the lockdown bod and appreciate that.
Okay.
Right, my next one.
Oh, hang on. I wanted to talk. Can I quickly talk about it real quick?
You say.
Right.
What would you go for?
Interesting one. Right. So nosy neighbours. I'm the sort of person where if someone's like being nosy or being annoying, I'm more likely to try and take the mick out of them or be like passive aggressive about it. So like if there's a window twitcher anywhere where I am, I will like sarcastically wave at them and start like grinning and things like that. Like, hello, yes, I'm here, like things like that. So I kind of would enjoy that. Noisy neighbours, I guess it would depend what time it is. If they're noisy whilst I'm working, like if I wasn't working from home, if I was away in the office working, I wouldn't really care too much. Noisy neighbours can sometimes be a bit more sociable, whereas nosy neighbours are a bit weird. And also, if it was at night, I'd have earplugs. But then again, that's a bit of a thing. I probably would go for nosy, just because I'd have a lot more fun. More fun.
Definitely.
Right, go on.
So, which one should I go for next? So, I've got one that's quite similar to that one, so I'm going to move on. Would you rather go back 10 years in time with no knowledge of what the future's going to hold? So, you know, you can't just say, oh, I'd invest in Tesla. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's happened in the last 10 years, but you go back 10 years in your life. Or do you want to go forward 10 years with some knowledge of what's going to come next? Obviously, you're going to be a little bit older, but you do have some knowledge of what's going to happen in the future, so you can maybe put that to your advantage.
Okay. So I'm guessing that we're on the assumption that you don't know everything in 10 years' time. So you don't know about future sporting events, for example, like Biff.
No, but you'll know some things.
But you'll know like sort of like the main events that are going to happen.
Yeah,
interesting.
Like you know something that can be used to your benefit, basically.
So if I went 10 years back in time right now, but I didn't know sort of what was going to happen to my life, so therefore couldn't change it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but
you'd have a chance 10 years ago.
Redo it.
It's university.
Ew.
You know what?
Actually, no. I'm going to change it slightly. When you do go back in time, you don't know anything about, like, I don't know, which Premier League team wins this. You don't know about Leicester win the Premier League, so you can't put 100 grand on that or whatever. But you do know what's happened to you personally.
Oh, I do that all the time.
So, like, you might change your job and whatnot.
I do that all day. Just because, like, not getting into it too much, but a few years ago, like, I had a bit of a bad patch. I'd happily avoid that. I think you know which decision I'd make. I wouldn't have done what I did when I was living with you, actually, around that time with a specific person, not to be named, but
I would,
would have not gone to Swindon. No,
I would not. I'd be single from about 22 years old up to like 26, and I would have spent 4 years just streaming. Because I would know that my streaming career, so to speak, or my YouTube career didn't kick off. So I'd be like, all right, yeah, I know that I didn't put as much effort into that as I should have done. If I went back 10 years and had no chance.
2.5 years ago.
I just sold so many fidget spinners.
I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I'm trying to change some of the thing is though, I have this belief that like I shouldn't have any regrets over my life because things could have changed out differently. And I am in general a happy person with the way my life has turned out. The journey hasn't been the greatest.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have regrets, though, in my opinion. I think it's good to have regrets in your life because then you learn from them. There's a lot of things that I've learned from because of regretting stuff.
Yeah, no, but like obviously, I got my son and everything, and the way my life I'm quite happy with the way it's turned out. I wouldn't have minded it happening a little bit sooner. Like some parts of it. Not my boy, but some things a bit sooner. I've always got this idea that I don't really like the idea of knowing what would happen in the future. I just don't think it should just be messed around with. If there ever was that opportunity, I wouldn't want to know. Like, I wouldn't want to know when I died. No way.
100% not.
Or where or how, because then you try and stop it, and I don't think that's natural. If there was that, let's just hope they don't invent time travel, guys. Sorry, but not gonna happen. I'll ban it. So there you go. So
right,
yeah,
we'll see. Right, we've got a voice clip. Let's see. Let's see what people said.
Lloyd, mate, big fan. No, only joking. Anyway, what's the hardest part about eating a vegetable? Trying to swallow the fucking wheelchair.
Right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Very good. I've got some jokes that are really not PC, but we're not going to repeat them. But fair enough.
Well,
no,
I'm not.
I knew you were joking about being a fan, mate, because I don't have any fans. You got no fans, so there we go.
Right. Is it your turn to do a Would You Rather now?
It is. I mean, I was going to pick one that's very similar to that, so we'll cross that off. Right. Okay. This one's right. Would you sacrifice celebrating your birthday or celebrating Christmas?
I would sacrifice
really
my birthday. 100%.
Okay, why?
I love Christmas, man. Christmas is the best time of year. It's not just for you. Like, the whole world is happier at Christmas. Like, regardless of where you are on that day, there's something about that day. So I've worked 2 of the last 3 Christmases, and I thought they were going to be like the worst days ever. I was going to hate it, blah, blah, blah. But both times, it has been all right. Like, it has worked out. I've enjoyed it. We've had a good time at work and stuff. So, yeah, 100% Christmas is the one. There's so much around the Christmas holiday that is so much more enjoyable than your birthday. Birthdays, once you get past, like, 21, they just get depressing. You're just worried about being old.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I mean, it's quite a simple one for me. I've got a son, so I'm going to say Christmas. The only thing is, it'd be a bit sad if no one celebrated your birthday. You know, in the same way, it would be a bit sad. Like, oh, I'm a year older. Yeah, anyway,
it doesn't bother me really.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll tell you what though. What would swing it for me is if I could have Christmas dinner on my birthday.
Selfish prick.
Quite a big thing. Like, maybe I'll do that for my birthday this year. I'll do myself Christmas dinner on my birthday.
There you go.
Pigs and blankets as well. It'd just be pigs and blankets. Because, you know, when I go to bed, I have a pig and a blanket. Anyway, right, so you'll go after that boring.
Wow. So my next one is, would you rather have the limitation to do no wrong or have the ability to get away with anything?
Get away with everything, I think, because I wouldn't mind the idea of not being able to do anything wrong. That would be lovely, you know, because I'm a man where I can mince my words, and that's probably one of my worst things. And sometimes I come across arrogant. I really don't try to, but sometimes I do. And you know, I think, I don't know how to put it, but I feel that if you could do no wrong, you'd never learn.
Yeah,
that's the big one. Whereas,
imagine you just got everything perfectly right. I don't know. You'd get very arrogant in yourself then. Yeah.
So sorry, what was the other? You mentioned it. How did you word the other?
So,
option?
like, would you have the limitation to do no wrong, or have the ability to get away with anything?
Right, get away with everything. I mean, that would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, I wouldn't push it to like robbing a bank and like, you know, being horrible. But,
I'm 100% stealing shit.
I might take. I might not pay for the odd bag at the supermarket, but you know, or scan the bags. The old thing we used to do: scan the Krispy Kreme donuts as carrots.
You say we. You did it. I didn't do that ever. Because I'm not.
We were kids.
Cheapskate. You say
I
didn't do that.
I'm sorry, but if you get it right, listen, guys, hear me out on this, right? You're in Tesco's, no one's looking, right? and if you can quickly get across to the carrot bit, or other supermarkets that are all available on the market, available or not because of lockdown. So you go onto the carrots and no one's looking. Whack that packet on. 11p. 11p. Sweet, done. Brilliant. Big F you to capitalism if you don't like it. So I like capitalism.
It's just pathetic. Getting away with trying.
Anyway, let's not get political. No. I would definitely do the get away with everything because, I wouldn't do it maliciously, but if I'd made a mistake or something like that. When people make a mountain out of a molehill, make a big deal out of nothing, does it really actually matter?
But I would I'd want to get away with telling someone they're a prick, and them not punching me, and there being no repercussions to that. I'm at work, someone annoys me. Just fuck off.
When you feel you want to tell someone.
Done.
When you feel you want to tell someone some home truths and stuff like that, but obviously you bite your tongue and things like that, and
then you have no repercussions whatsoever, and you'll be fine.
If you make a decision that you think would work out really well, but it doesn't, it goes down the pan. No harm done.
Right. So just to remind people listening, we are doing Would You Rathers. If you want to send some in, please do so. You're next up. Give me one. Hit me.
Got my last one. It's so lame. Right. Would you have... Right, so first of all, Matt, what's your favourite food? Just answer that. You need to pick one. I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
It's either pizza or chicken. Pizza.
Pick one. Pizza. Right, okay. So what sort of pizza are you having?
I'm having a stuffed crust with tomato base, some pepperoni, some chicken.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Loads of cheese.
Okay, right. So, would you rather that every day for the rest of your life or never again?
I would do never again. Can I have it once before it goes? I'll just change one of the toppings.
Like Death Row when you get your final request of meal?
Yeah. Can I have it once before it goes? No. I'll just change one of the toppings. Change it ever so slightly. I'll get away with it.
You know what? That's a really good point. That's a really good point with that.
You fucked it.
Or what, just any pizza in general? Would just any pizza in general, that's it, you can't have it.
Any pizza in general, I'd still say never again. Because if I had to have that every day of my life, I'm dying 15 years earlier than than I would have done. Because I would not be healthy. Because you wouldn't be able to eat any other food. You just have to eat that food every single day.
Yeah. So I've kind of actually...
I would literally die.
So, it's funny this, because I'm actually one of these options. Now I'm thinking about it. So my favourite food...
every day?
No, not every week. Anyway, maybe twice a week. I don't know. Depends how I'm feeling. No, my favourite food is something that you pretty much can't get anymore. I mean, you can, but I don't think you'll be able to get it for much longer. I like swordfish steak. It's a bit of a weird one. I used to go abroad and have it, and it's absolutely amazing. But it's got high mercury content, right? So if I ate it every day for the rest of my life, I'd die of mercury poisoning. Because they only recommend you have it once a week, literally, because it's like tuna on steroids with the mercury content. But we just ignore that and say that I'm not gonna get anything bad from it. You can't actually. It's an endangered species, pretty much, of swordfish now. So we've got to be really careful about fishing for it. It's very hard to get. But let's just take that out of the way. Let's say that there's swordfish steak everywhere, and I can have it every day for the rest of my life. I still wouldn't, because I'd have a second and a third favourite food as well. So steak's my second favourite food. And then yes, pizza's third. Don't get me wrong. But you could still got the second and the third favourite, so that would be all right. That wouldn't be too bad.
No, that'd be all right. That'd be good.
I think that would be okay. But yeah, it's no that. Some of these, like I said, they're mine. That's my last one. They're really tame ones for this first one.
Well, I've got 3 left.
Okay.
So we'll whip through those. Would you rather everyone admire you or everyone be impartial about you? So they don't hate you, they don't like you, you're just kind of there.
Ooh. It's an interesting one. Because I'm not vain at all. I don't really care what people think about me. So, but if someone's average, then how are you going to be like really good mates with someone who thinks you're all right?
Yeah.
I just think you'd end up being quite lonely if you think about that. That's really stumped me, Matt.
But like everyone admiring you could go really badly. Like if everyone loves you, they're going to try and do anything to please you. You're not going to be able to like have a second to yourself.
It would probably get a bit tedious. Let's be honest, wouldn't it? If people are constantly trying to make you happy. I mean, that sounds a bit ungrateful, but can you imagine like everyone in the street being like, "Oh yeah, hello," and you'd be like, "Oh, sound a bit fake."
Well, I think the thing is we're never going to have an issue with this because there's no way we try hard enough to get one person to admire us, let alone everyone. So I don't think we're ever going to.
Very cynical way of looking at it. I think I would probably. I know I'm not a vain person, but I'd probably say that I'd want everyone to admire me because it'd be really easy to make friends. Yeah. Like I'm one of these people where I guess I'm kind of sociable. I'm not really too extrovert, but I like having good friends. And you know, I'm quite an affectionate person in like relationships with women and things like that. So like I would kind of like that because I know I'd be loved. So there's that as well. Whereas like can you imagine having a girlfriend of like, yeah, you're okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, nah. And you know, if your mate's like, yeah, you're okay, I guess, you probably end up becoming quite conscious, sort of like, well,
yeah, definitely. You'd always be trying to make it. You'd always be trying to make it.
So basically, everyone's putting in the effort, or you're putting in the effort for everyone else. I think I'd probably sit back.
Yeah, admire me, people. So, admire me.
Yeah. Right, would you agree, or?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that the impartial one is there's too much negative in there. It would be a nightmare. It'd be a nightmare. So I've got one now, which is a little bit of an in-joke with the YouTube lot, but I wanted to see what you would say. And we're not going to explain this one at all. We're just going to answer it. God. I'm just going to get you to answer it, and then we're going to move on. All right? So this one's an in-joke with the YouTube lot.
Brilliant.
But you're not allowed to ask any questions about it. You've just got to answer, okay?
Do I have to explain, or do I just have to say?
No, you just answer. That's it.
Okay.
Would you rather...
Yeah.
FFM or MMF?
I know exactly what that means. FFM.
Fair play. I was hoping you wouldn't know what the abbreviations were, and that you.
Unfortunately, I do. I definitely do.
Nearly got away with that.
No explanation behind that one. Let's just crack on.
Let's just move on. Would you rather? Right, here we go. So this one goes back to our youth a little bit in the sense that, I mean, pretty much everyone's youth, this song's massive. So, would you rather have to sing Mr. Brightside every time it comes on, or never hear the song ever again?
Matt, you were an artist once upon a time. You used to do performing and stuff, I know, and you love that song to bits. So I know that you would happily belt it out. In fact, you probably do that anyway. So this is a bit of a no-brainer for you. I mean, you can explain the reasons why in a minute, but I've already answered your question. For me, I can't sing to save my life. The song I don't mind. It's all right. It's not my favourite song. Admittedly, it is a classic. I'm going to give it that. So I'd happily never really hear it again. Also, because can you remember when we used to go to Moo-Moo's, right? When we were like 18 on the propaganda nights, and the thing would come on with Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon, and admittedly they're good songs, but hearing it every single time I walk into a club, right, or like whilst I'm in the club, not like it's like, oh yeah, Chris has turned up, let's play Mr. Brightside, piss him off. But no, it literally was just a bit like got a bit repetitive. Like
yeah.
it's almost like one of those. I personally feel that, and like I said, "Sex on Fire" by Kings of Leon, it's like almost like an overplayed song because it was just
Oh,
like
100%.
and Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars is going to go that way as well.
Oh, it's already gone that way. It's clear. It's gone clear completely.
Like songs like that, really good at the time, and you're like, oh my god, Shape of You, Ed
It's
Sheeran,
massively
another one
gone through.
that would be overplayed to death, and then you're just sat there like, ugh. So yes,
So that's thoughts,
my answer.
My thoughts on this one is this, right? I don't listen to the radio.
Okay.
I don't go to nightclubs. I only ever really listen to music that I put on. So having to sing Mr. Brightside every time it comes on isn't going to be that often, really. And let's face it, if I'm at a party or I'm at a wedding or any event where Mr. Brightside's getting played, I'm belting the living shit out of that thing, regardless. So
you're probably drunk anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd bout out Mr. Brightside left, right, and centre. Doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Guys, comment on when this goes on YouTube. Comment below if you think that sometimes I just randomly play it and he has to sing it anyway.
Yeah,
like, just literally like automatic, like a robot, like coming on. I'm okay, just like going on. I'm like,
just fine. I don't know about that one.
Luckily, we don't sound like them singing, so this isn't going to get demonetized. Anyway,
no, true. I think that is yes, it's straightforward, man. Belt that song out whenever it comes on, and if you don't, then you're wrong.
I'd even say the same about like my favorite song of all time. I mean, I don't have one, but if I had one, I probably wouldn't. I probably agree with that. You know, there's a lot of songs out there to enjoy. Plus, also my favorite song is probably a rap song, and I'd probably get arrested in the street if I started singing it. So if I thought hard enough,
start using certain words,
because I'll get arrested for it.
I'm trying to work out if I've got any that I haven't said. I've got two. We'll do them quick because we got 9 minutes. We can crack them out. Would you rather have a short-lived dream career that earns standard money? So you're doing the job of your dreams, but you only do it for a short amount of time, and it earns you enough money to get by, basically, for the time that you're doing it.
Right. So for me, it'd be professional racing car driver. Anyway, go on.
Or do you want a long career in a job that you absolutely despise, but it earns you big money?
I'd go for option number 2. And the reason why is the rise and fall of Lloydie. Can you imagine doing your dream job, right, for like a year or two on standard money, and then potentially just going back to something that isn't your dream job? You're going to be constantly wanting more.
Yeah.
And, you might get something to earn you a bit more, but you're still not going to have that. I mean, also, my dream job, like I said, is a professional racing car driver. Quite an exciting sort of job to have. You wouldn't be able to replace that with much more.
No, you'd miss
there's not many jobs out there that would replace something like that. Whereas if I had a menial job, just any old job, where I'm earning lots of money, I've always said this, right? That if someone paid me a lot of money, I'd scrub toilets with a toothbrush if I had to, like for the right amount of money. Like I got a price, but obviously, like it'd be more than a cleaner's wage. But like if someone wanted to do that, ruin my dignity and humility at work, I'd probably sell it. Probably sell that for a fair bit longer, because in my spare time, I could spend that big money on said hobby. So for me, the equivalent of the hobby of being a racing driver is doing track days and stuff like that. So I go and buy nice car for it, and I'd go and do that as my hobby, taking everything else outside. So that for me is a no-brainer. Matt, what would you do?
So I'm thinking dream jobs, right? My dream job would probably be to be able to make content for a living and to be able to do what we're doing right now and that sort of thing and make money off it.
Mhm.
So I'd argue that
Mhm.
I would. I would probably do a long career in a job I hate that earns big money, because I would then use that money to, I don't know. The way I see it, a job is a job. Like, I go, I do my job, I come home. It's the stuff that I do at home that are the stuff that I enjoy. Like, so I get along with the people I work with. I get along really well with the people I work with at work, but I'd always choose to be sat here at my desk doing this as opposed to doing my job. Like, so, you know, if I have a long career in a job and I make loads of money, but saying that hating a job would kill you. Like, it would just ruin you. You wouldn't want to get up in the morning. So maybe,
No.
yeah, no, you know what? Maybe I'd have a short-lived dream. If I did YouTube and Twitch and everything else for 2 or 3
being really
years,
boring here, it depends on what you'd want to do. Because if you ended up with, like, in a real world, if you ended up with like a really successful YouTube channel, you're not really earning a lot of money. You could lead on to different things that you might not like as much, but you could still earn that cash.
It could lead you on to
but I
TV
guess,
presenting or something, couldn't it?
yeah, it depends. But like, if if your dream job was to be a dustbin man, I don't know, some people might. But and then that was short lived. It's not like you can do being a dustbin man as a hobby. You'd be a weirdo. But like, I guess it kind of depends on what it is. But even if it was the case that I could, I would do that and never do it again, I don't think that I would do it, just because I'd be always wanting something more.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a healthy way to live.
I think that having a short-lived career on YouTube could lead you to do other things that would still be somewhat related and somewhat enjoyable. So I think, I'd take the first option. I would never earn the big money necessarily. I'd earn maybe like, I don't know, 25k a year or whatever it is. I'd never be earning hundreds of thousands of pounds, but I would have done something that was my dream for a couple of years as my job. I think that's pretty good going.
Also, you'd have a bit of a legacy to leave behind. People would still see your content and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you could say that about being a racist.
Right, we'll get this one last one in. Would you rather spend the rest of your life only ever being able to watch one film/TV show, or only ever be able to listen to one song for the rest of your life?
Oh my goodness. Ooh. That's a really hard one, Matt. That is, and we've all got 4 minutes to answer it. Brilliant.
There's 100% a correct answer here.
It would be, I would rather listen to one song for the rest of my life.
Wow.
You're going to disagree.
That would be
why?
so annoying.
Yeah, but the thing is, right?
Me. Oh, you've
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there, but someone tried to call me. I don't know what. Sorry about that. I do apologise. Do you know why? I'm going to explain it. I guess it depends. It's like, what do you like more, music or TV and film? Music. Oh, someone keeps on calling me. I'm sorry about this. So you're into music more, whereas I'm more into TV and film. And like, I'm one of those people where I'll occasionally, I'm listening to music less and less on my phone. Like, I've got a Spotify account, other streaming services available, and the thing is that I listen to it less and less because now I listen to the radio in my car, right? So, but then with television, I've got all of my streaming devices, and I do watch a lot of TV and a lot of film, and like, I'm getting really annoyed with this now. This is really getting on my nerves. I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb. Hang on. Can I put it on Do Not Disturb? Sorry about this, guys. We just got someone constantly trying to call me.
Is it work?
Anyway. Or? No, it's just a random mobile number. It's not work at all. But no, I'm someone where I guess I'm probably quite a simple person. I like my visual aids. I like pictures on the screen. But yeah, so no, I would definitely do that. But you're a musical person. I understand that you would.
Yeah,
You would
so
rather just
the way I see it is this: I could easily pick a certain. I would research it. I could pick a certain TV show that is one has a butt ton of seasons, and two is different in the sense that I don't know, something like Black Mirror, where it's not the same every episode.
I
and there's
don't
a
think there's
different
enough of
story
Black
each
Mirror.
time.
Do you know what's really
No.
weird? If I could pick one that constantly went on, if it went on forever, the TV series, I'm gonna sound right nerd. Probably pick like Doctor Who or something because I like sci-fi stuff that goes on, or even like I'd never watched Star Trek before, so probably just would be like turned to a Trekkie or something.
I'm not sure I'd
You
go that
know,
far.
or like Stargate SG-1 or something like that. Like because you're right, it's a bit different. If you know, or believe it or not, even something like EastEnders or Coronation Street, because like you know, it take you a long time to get through them, and they're always on. But if I literally just had to watch Friends for the rest of my life, I'd probably gouge my eyes out, to be honest, because I hate that show.
You're so
controversial wrong. Opinions. We're gonna have to do that for another time.
I've got the
1
best.
o'clock. Go on.
I've got the best controversial opinion for gaming. We will do that at some point.
Yeah.
My gaming one, everyone disagrees with it.
Oh really?
Literally everybody, yeah.
I think I know what it is. 100%. I will.
I think you'll disagree with it, yeah.
Interesting. I've got quite a controversial opinion, but I think we're probably going to have to wrap this one up unless you want to discuss any more about the music thing. I think
we're good. I think we'll end it there. So what we'll do is just say, if you are listening to this on stereo any later, please go and check out the YouTube channel. I think it's all linked on my profile, so you can find it there. Check Chris out as well. Give him a follow, all that jazz. And we'll see.
I'm only on stereo, by the way. I'm not on YouTube, but you can follow me on stereo.
Exclusive.
Something else I'd like to add is this is the first time we've done it. I'm going to say this right now. I've really enjoyed this hour.
It's good.
It's usually I'd be eating, so probably lost a bit of weight at the same time. So I was
got
thinking,
half-eaten lunch in front of me.
What do you reckon, Matt? If anyone's watching this on YouTube, or if you can play it back on stereo, I don't know whether you can. But if they've got any ideas of other stuff we can talk about, we've been discussing what to do. I mean, a couple of things have come up, like childhood stories and like funny things that have happened. Or unpopular controversial opinions are quite good. Things like that we can talk about. We'd probably rather avoid at the moment current affairs, because
it's just depressing.
With current affairs there's one thing that's constantly going on and we want to avoid that. The less the better.
Definitely.
But at some point we could do it if things are a bit more peachy and bright. But
hopefully one day they will be as well.
If anyone wants to send in any suggestions, we're more than welcome, and we'll definitely seriously consider them. See if they can certainly make the cut. But hopefully we'll speak to you guys soon. And thanks for listening from me, Chris,
and me, Matt. Is that what we're doing now? Is
that
how we outro?
You can do your outro if you want.
We'll see you in the next one.